Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in.
Today, we will be covering Meta pulling back a controversial Muse image feature after user backlash, Apple suing OpenAI over alleged trade secret theft tied to AI hardware, OpenAI hiring a, quote, families product manager as ChatGPT moves deeper into households, and Meta's in-house Iris AI chip heading toward September production. Let's start with Meta. Just days after rolling out its new Muse image tool inside Meta AI, the company has already pulled back one of its most controversial features. The tool let users generate images from text prompts, but it also automatically made photos from public Instagram accounts usable as references for AI-generated images. In other words, someone could pull up a stranger's public Instagram photo and use their likeness as source material for a brand new AI image. That did not go over well. The backlash was immediate. Social media filled up with posts walking people through how to opt out, and SAG-AFTRA warned its members to change their settings to protect their likeness. The union applauded the rollback, saying a feature that encouraged that kind of behavior was, in their words, unwise. Meta's own statement was almost sheepish, saying it had heard the feedback that this feature, quote, missed the mark, and it was making it unavailable. The bigger picture here is that Meta wants generative AI baked directly into Instagram, WhatsApp, and its ad products. But this is a preview of the consent problem at social platform scale. It is not just about AI training on public posts. It is about strangers being able to remix your public identity into new images on demand. And the blow-up happened in hours, not months. Next up, Apple is taking OpenAI to court. On July 10th, Apple filed a lawsuit in the Northern District of California against OpenAI and two former Apple employees, alleging trade secret theft and breach of contract. Apple's complaint puts it bluntly, saying the case is about former Apple employees stealing Apple's trade secrets for the benefit of OpenAI. OpenAI pushed back with a short response, saying it has no interest in other companies' trade secrets. The details in the complaint are pretty specific. Apple names Chief Hardware Officer Tang Tan, alleging he asked job candidates for Apple hardware details, used confidential Apple project code names, and coached departing employees on how to evade Apple's security procedures. Apple also alleges former engineer Chang Liu failed to return a company laptop and used it to download confidential technical documents on his way out the door. The stakes here go well beyond one lawsuit. This confirms that Apple now sees OpenAI as a hardware rival, not just a model vendor or a potential Siri partner. OpenAI has been openly working on some kind of AI-native device with Johnny Ive, and if that product competes with the iPhone or with app-centric interfaces, Apple has every reason, both business and legal, to slow it down. It also throws sand into OpenAI's recruiting pipeline out of Apple's hardware org, which has been one of its favorite hunting grounds. Moving on to OpenAI itself, there is a quiet but telling job listing worth paying attention to. OpenAI is hiring a San Francisco-based product manager for families, sitting on what it calls the Youth Well-Being Team. The role covers age prediction, parental controls, crisis support resources, and age-appropriate AI experiences. The listing says the person will shape how, quote, families, caregivers, and older adults benefit from AI. The numbers behind this hire explain the strategy. According to Sensor Tower data shared with TechCrunch, ChatGPT users aged 35 and up grew to about 31% of the global user base in the second quarter, up from 26% a year earlier, while the 18 to 24 slice actually shrank. In the US, nearly 1 in 4 smartphone-using parents used ChatGPT last quarter, a big jump from the year before. The user base is getting older and more domestic. Stephen Balcom of the Family Online Safety Institute called the move safety by redesign, arguing kids and teens need stronger safeguards than adult users get by default. The takeaway is that OpenAI is positioning ChatGPT to compete as household infrastructure, going head-to-head with Alexa, Google Assistant, and Siri for things like homework help, caregiving, household planning, and teen safety. Those are also exactly the areas where a hallucination or a bad response carries much higher stakes than getting a work email wrong. Finally, Meta is making a serious move to control more of its own AI stack. Reuters, citing an internal memo, reports that Meta plans to begin manufacturing an in-house AI chip codenamed Iris in September. It is part of Meta's MTIA custom silicon program, developed with Broadcom and manufactured by TSMC. According to follow-up coverage of the memo, Iris cleared roughly 6 weeks of testing with no major issues. The scale Meta is talking about is enormous. The memo says Meta wants to push its total computing power to 14 gigawatts next year, with 2.5 gigawatts online by the end of this year. For context, that is data center capacity comparable to a small country's electricity demand. One memo line captures the frustration driving all of this, saying that adopting the latest GPUs at Metascale, quote, has been a heavy lift, and it has cost us time. Translation: waiting on NVIDIA and AMD supply has slowed Meta down. Iris is not meant to fully replace NVIDIA or AMD. It is meant to complement them, especially for Meta's own workloads like ranking ads, powering feeds, and running inference for image and video generation. If it works, Meta gets real cost control across ads, agents, and eventually training. If it stumbles, Meta has added a huge amount of execution complexity on top of an already aggressive infrastructure build-out. Either way, custom silicon from hyperscalers is becoming less of a science project and more of a core competitive lever.
Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.